not all of you see the mission and the vision as the same as everybody else. The opportunities, you have more businesses opening in San Gabriel Valley, there is more industry happening, technology, partnership happening, and expansions or having more sponsors. Threats could be whatever is happening in the economy, whatever is not within your control. So the strengths and weaknesses are internal in the chamber. Opportunities and threats are the environment outside of you that you cannot control, the external. What I did is that I left this empty for you, so when you sit together and do your goals, mission, and vision, you need to fill this out at the end of the meeting, so you can come with the proper goals. When you do that, you know exactly how to put your goal together, knowing all the factors that influence the goal. Because we can have like, okay, we need to add 100 members by the end of the year. It's not going to happen. But maybe if we think, okay, we have new businesses, our strength is that we have a new team that is ready to roll, we all have that enthusiasm, we can reach each one of us, if they reach 2 people or 3 people in a month, you know, they can probably bring 1. So maybe by the end of the year, we are 5 months away from the end of the year, maybe we can add 10 members. You know, because the threats are like economy is not that well and the membership is a little bit high. Maybe we can find sponsors that can substitute that. So all the SWOT analysis program will help you think properly about your goals. Okay, and if you do that, I mean, even if you want to buy a car, think about it. You know, what are my strengths? Okay, I have some cash right now. I have a good DMV record, so I don't have any points on insurance. You know, and I can use a new car. My weakness, I drive fast. You know, my opportunities is like, well, a newer car will help me give a better image of myself and of my business. You know, and the gas is going lower in price. You know, so maybe that will help that. And it's an environmental car, so it's good for the environment. You know, my threats are, what if the gas goes higher? What if I move away? What if, you know, all that, and the opportunities or the strength, oh, it's a fully paid car, so I don't have to pay high insurance. It's not a lease car, so I don't have to pay excess liability. You know, this is how we make decisions. Okay, we're going to go through decision making later on, but this is how, with this chart, how we can come to really make a proper decision for us and for our organization. We did the disc already. Okay, now we have to talk about what can hinder a group, the 5 dysfunctions of a group, and it's on page 12. What I did on the workbooks is that I have put a lot of information for you, that because of time, we can't really go through each one of them, but I have the information for you in case you want to get more information about it. Whatever you need to know about these subjects, you're going to find it in these workbooks. So, talking about the dysfunctions of the group, the first one is absence of trust between the team members. Absence of trust. What does that mean? It doesn't necessarily mean that I don't trust to talk to you. What it means is I don't trust you enough to show you my weak points. I don't feel safe enough that you're not going to ridiculize what I'm thinking. I don't feel safe enough to show you my vulnerabilities or ask you for help. Because I want always to maintain that picture and that image that I can do it all by myself. That's the absence of trust in a team building environment. Okay? How to overcome that? What we did, the exercises that we did, get to know each other a little bit better. Ask questions. Believe in yourself. There is nothing called a stupid question. There is nothing called a stupid opinion. There is nothing called a wrong opinion. Everybody has an opinion. There is no wrong or right opinion. And we need to believe in that and talk to each other about it. How can we, members of a trusting team, they admit their weaknesses or even mistakes. There is no one in this life that doesn't do mistakes. But own them. Be accountable. Come and say, you know what, I did a mistake, I'm sorry. Can you help me correct it? What really happened? Does it make you a less person if you say that? Would you feel that you give a little bit of yourself to someone else, that someone is controlling you when you do that? Actually, it should add. That person will actually value you and will come. We as human beings, we want to help people. We don't ridiculize people, but if we keep those barriers and those distances, and if we're fake with each other and not honest with each other, that will happen. Everybody will be behind a wall. And we cannot operate from behind walls, especially in a small board member like this, if you really want to achieve.
What do you do when you do admit that you messed up and
ask for help?
But somebody out loud, either to you or behind your back, judges you. Like, how do you deal with that person?
That's a good question.
And that person's on your team.
Yeah.
Well, what you do is you discuss this in front of the people. You go to them and you say, why did you think that way? This is how you made me feel. Use I statements. I felt when you did that you judged me. Not you made me feel judged. I felt judged. I felt that I did my best and it was not recognized. I felt that maybe you don't know me enough to make that decision. Let me explain to you how I came to that decision. There is no way they're going to be contradictory to you after that, especially in presence of people. Always, it's conflict resolution. Try to see where they are. Do not attack them. Do the owl one. Go confront them. Tell them, you know what? This is how I felt. Not you made me feel. I felt. Use I statements. Expose your feelings. Okay? Your emotions. This is how I felt. I felt judged. I felt maybe you misunderstood what I said. I felt maybe I should clarify myself better. This is what I meant. So do you still have the same idea? Let's discuss it. Because, you know what? We are not in kindergarten anymore. We are not as like, oh, you told me that, oh, okay, I'm not playing with you, I'm taking my toys and going home. We can't do that anymore. We are adults and we need to deal with each other. And remember, we are diverse. Very diverse. I mean, like I said here, look at BNLP, how diverse are we? The team that we had, the one that just graduated, they were 12 people from 10 countries. There will be conflicts. There will be people that will judge. I judged the air hostess when she told me you bet. Correct? I was wrong. And I came to know I was wrong. And I say it now because I don't have a problem saying that I was wrong. I mean, I never had the chance to correct my mistake with her, but it was wrong.
Can't fly TWA anymore either.
It's gone. American Airlines. But you know what? You need to confront it. You cannot let it go, Andrade. You cannot. Because the minute you're going to let it go, you know what will happen? That person will feel it's okay to do that and they're right. So they will go more and more in it and you will develop more and more resentment. And you know what happened after that? Hostile environment. Remember, if we are not in a volunteer position at work, hostile environment, there are laws against that. That could be harassment. That could be a big lawsuit when there is a hostile environment. So we need to remember that. And you know what? It's so easy to avoid that by talking, but talking properly. When you say you, that's what you're doing. And remember, when you point finger, you know what they say, right? You point one at me and three back at me. One at you and three back at me. This. So remember that. Always use I statements. I mean, this is how I feel. You cannot tell me how I feel. This is how I feel. Not you made me feel. When you say you made me feel, you put the other person on the defensive. And all of a sudden they attack. So remember that. Okay.
I think trust is the number one. I mean,
that's why it's number one.
It is.
That's why it's number one. You know what? If you see the pyramid, look at the base. That's the base of the pyramid. That's where all, and based on that, you know what? When there is absence of trust, guess what? You're going to be very polite to each other, and you're going to avoid conflicts, even they're there. You're going to avoid talking about conflicts. That's what we were talking about. When you have fear of conflicts, guess what? You're not going to have commitment, because you don't trust each other. When you don't have commitment, you're going to avoid accountability. I never committed. Why do you hold me accountable for this? And if you're not accountable, there will be no results. And again, we're going to go through every single one. Fear of conflict. Okay, fear of conflict is page 13. Failure to build trust is damaging because it sets the tone for the second dysfunction, which is fear of conflict. They have, the people that avoid conflicts have boring meetings, create superficial environments where there is no communication, fail to tap into all the opinion and perspective. So, because people have barriers and have walls, you don't get to listen to each one of them. So you're missing. You're actually missing on opinions and creative ideas. How to overcome it? Acknowledge that conflicts exist. Acknowledge that they can be productive. The leaders should mine those conflicts and bring them to the surface and discuss them properly. Teams that engage have very good meetings, they have ideas, they solve problems, and put critical topics on the table for discussion. And we always need to do that as teams. Number 3, which is lack of commitment. Again, it builds on both. It's, they create ambiguity, miss opportunities, breeds lack of confidence, fear of failure, and encourage second guessing. We will always judge others or second guess what they have. But if we are strong enough to have a commitment, we have clear directions and priorities. Some on the assessments that I got back, a lot of you were not sure about the role into the board member, are not sure about what they're doing. They're not sure about the vision and the mission of the chamber. They're not sure about where are the committees and what they do. And I think that this is something that you're going to be discussing today. So to have clear objectives. But once you know, you have to be committed to your role. And you have to be held accountable, which will come as a 4th dysfunction. You have to be committed. All of you are volunteers on this board, right? Why are you doing it?
To better the community.
Better the community. Improve the community.
Sahar, many years ago, we heard a very inspirational speaker, Jim Tunney, who was a referee with the NFL for over 30 years and became a pastor. And he was talking about team building and how to work better together. And his definition of team is together everyone accomplishes more. And you know, it's so true when you hear that team.
Yeah, this is the acronym of team.
Yes.
T-E-A-M.
Excellent.
It's together, everyone accomplishes more. Yeah.
And he's from St. Gabriel. He wrote a number of books, and he went back to see his mother. So we were fortunate in St. Gabriel that we could have him at many functions, so wide breakfasts and so on. And never left me the definition of team from Reverend
It's
Tunney.
very important, you know.
Became a pastor too.
It's the togetherness.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we have a saying that says 2 are better than 1 and 3 are better than the same. And there is one other thing that in Egypt also we say. I mean, I don't mean it literally, but that's how, if we are a team, you know, we need to work together against someone else. You know, because we are not, or to be better than someone else. Like in Egypt we say, me and my brother are against my cousin, but me, my brother, and cousin are against everyone else. You know what that means? It means that the more we are together, the more we have to combat the word or
strength in numbers.
Exactly. There is strength in numbers. And the more we are closer together, the more we get, hopefully at the end of the day, each one of you will have known the next person to them a little bit better. You know, I enjoy meeting people. Yes, we're not all I people, but still we can use that in everything we do. Okay, and now, the avoidance of accountability, which is number 4, and that comes, of course, if I'm not committed, why should I hold myself accountable? That makes sense. I mean, even as a person, if you don't feel you're committed somewhere, I'm on board of a couple of organizations too. And I know how it is. You know, one of them I had to leave because it was getting so ambiguous. People were just like having strong egos. Everybody was like, whatever, it's me and then everybody else. You know, so I felt that I wasn't committed anymore. And if I wasn't committed, why do you expect me to do my role if you're not? So I left. And that could be the demise of a very good organization if it happens that way. So we need to think more about engaging, about working together, you know, about teaming together. That's how we can achieve all the goals. And you know, who doesn't enjoy success? I mean, even as self-satisfaction, don't you feel great when you achieve a goal that you set for your life? That's how I motivate myself. My self-satisfaction getting here. I was so excited coming here today, you know, because I'm meeting new people and I have that passion of trying to make things better. Because things can always get better, you know, and I always want, when I leave somewhere, I like to leave at least 1 or 2 good ideas that people can use in their life, that they can take out of this door and use. And that's my self-satisfaction. You know, and I think we all agree that when we succeed, it does make us feel good. Correct? Okay, and now the last one, which is inattention to results. Again, all the information are on your workbooks. I mean, I have divided into definition, a team that is attentive, overcoming, and the positive of having a team that looks for results. Well, again, if I don't trust, I don't have conflict, I don't have a commitment, I'm not accountable, so do you think I'm going to have any results?
No.
And by the way, this is a work of a person, of a writer called Leonard da Vinci, and he created the theory of 5 dysfunctions. There is actually a book out there that's called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Group, or of a team. And it's a very interesting, I mean, I went through it very lightly, but it could be, again, a full workshop. I just did it so you can have an idea, if we don't do this, what will happen. Okay? Okay, after that we come to page 17, which is rocking the boat. What does it mean, rocking the boat? Meaning having problems. We don't have a smooth sailing anymore. Who said that they don't sail? Someone said, oh. Someone said that they don't sail when they said 2 truths and a lie today.
I've sailed.
Okay.
I have though.
You don't have a first. Someone said that they sail or they don't sail. It was a lie. Maybe don't they? No. Okay. Anyhow, trust, rocking the boat, not rocking the boat and being like going through results in a smooth sailing is built on trust. And trust has an acronym, by the way. Trust is truly resilient, using constructive self-talk. That's what trust is about. Constructive, resilient, true, and you talk to yourself, self-talk, you talk to yourself and to others. Why teamwork fails, do you think? Beside the 5 functions that we mentioned. I'm going to call on you guys, so you better...
You just give up.
You just give up?
Give up.
Okay. Why do you give up?
It doesn't go your way.
Why doesn't it go your way?
Well, if you have definite ways you think it needs to go and it's not going that way, you take your toys and go home.
So expectations.
Yep.
It doesn't meet your expectations.
Right.
Very good.
Or you don't feel like you're heard. That
You don't feel appreciated.
You don't feel appreciated. You don't feel like your input is valuable
Okay.
or even just acknowledged.
Absolutely. What else?
Disappointment.
From? I don't think that I have to have details.
No. But disappointment because you've expected an answer to go one way and it actually didn't go that way. And you lack of trust because you don't know if they're actually telling you the truth when you've asked a question. And the response wasn't truthful, in your opinion.
Okay. Meaning no one took the time to explain properly why that decision was made and they don't have your buy-in. Because sometimes we could be in a place where we think things should be done a certain way, but a decision is made that is not what you wanted to do, but at least you understand where it was coming from.
Exactly.
but it's not you feel that it was not explained properly to you why it was done that way.
And you were part of why the results went another way, rather than having to hear it from someone else as to why the results went another way.
So there was no one-on-one or enough respect to explain to you why a decision was made.
Let's just say that everyone wasn't in on the decision.
Okay. Participation or engagement.
That's okay.
Okay. All right.
Sounds much better.
I think a lot of times it has to do with the fact that lack of commitment or accountability is really contagious. And when you have a few people who maybe become disengaged or not as involved, and then it becomes infectious to the rest of the team.
I agree. I totally agree. That's what I was explaining even with me a little bit earlier. I saw people doing this, so I'm like, I give up too, and I just ended up leaving. Anything else?
Or if you have a leader that is not leading appropriately, that
Absolutely.
can hurt the group a lot.
Absolutely.
So if you are the leader, you need to take charge, and if something is not going well, you need to speak up and say, look, this is not going well, you need to do this and this and this.
But you also need to remember, being board members, each one of you is a leader. It's a participative leadership. So we need to remember that. So we cannot just assign someone, or because this is your role, you are the leader and you have to do everything. So we need to remember that too. It's participative leadership. What else? Okay, let's go through the definitions I have. The first one is organizational issues. And we're going to go through that. Failure to communicate, leadership, team members, and the infrastructure. The organizational issues are the mission, vision, core values, purpose, fatal affliction. What does that mean? Can someone give me a definition of a mission? First, what is the mission of the San Gabriel Valley Chamber? You should all know it by heart.
It's a city with a mission.
Sorry, that's a joke.
The city of the chamber.
Chamber. You are a board member
We
chamber.
mean business to our community.
That's the mission? Do you
That's
know
the
all it by
mission
heart?
No.
Do we have
You
a mission
guys are
statement?
the board members. You need to know that by heart. Like if someone pushes a button, you just go, what?
It's too long to memorize that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because remember, you represent the chamber to the businesses. If you want to recruit a business, what are you going to go and tell them? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know, the mission is too long. You have to know it to tell them what it is.
It rubbed off. It rubbed off. I was sweaty.
You know what? A mission is the calling. So you can remember, because a lot of people get very confused between mission and vision. The mission is the calling, and the vision is the destiny. Remember that. It will be very easy for you to remember them after that. The mission is your expression of what your organization does. It tells others exactly what you are in business for. That's your mission. The vision is a picture of the organization desired future. Like Stephen Covey said in his 7 Habits of a Great Person or a Great Leader, he said, start with the end in mind. Have a vision of where you want to go in 6 months, in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years. Yes, your term might be short on the chamber, but remember, there are people there has to be succession plans. This is like a business, and every business, if they don't have a proper succession plan for next leaders, it's not going to work. It's going to fall. Like at Wells Fargo, I'm sure that they have a very strong succession plan. Because people that retire, or people that move laterally, or higher up, they have people that will replace them, and it's a 4-stage plan in any business. So we need to remember that we have people that will come after us. It doesn't start and end with us. There were people before us, and there are people after us. And one very important thing to do is never to say, well, this is what it used to be, so we have to keep it that way. That's where you die. That's where you commit suicide. You know, when you do things a certain way and expect different results, it's insanity. And I think it was Albert Einstein that said that. If I go to my computer on Google and I'm researching something, and I feed it wrong information, do you think I'm going to have the proper information that I need?
No.
Enter garbage, you get garbage. You need to be specific, you need to be precise, you need to know what you are about or up to have the proper reaction, to have the proper information, and do the proper research. Okay, the core values. The core values is, what do you want your Chamber of Commerce to be known about? Integrity, support, networking. You need to let people know what are your values, what you as board members offer as core values of who you are. So you add a little bit of your personalities in there. The purpose of creating the teams is to have a framework to increase the ability to participate in planning, to better have decisions, to better contribution, and to have ownership of the decisions and being accountable. Unless all this is aligned, if Valerie, Natalie, Albert, and Dr. Michael have a different definition than everybody else, what happens? Misalignment. And then conflicts, lack of trust, vulnerability. I mean, it's like a dominoes effect. Imagine we drive, every car has 4 tires. If we have one tire of the 4 misaligned or not tight good enough, what will happen?
The rest of them become misaligned.
You'll have a car accident. You'll have a wreck. And something will happen. And it depends on the severity of it, how severe the accident will be. Just remember that. Remember that, you know, always when you want to do something, have a vivid image to it that will stay with you all the time. And it will come to you naturally, and you can use it in your life. Just remember that. Misalignment, tires, car, accident, wreck. But if they're all balanced, I can drive from here till New York with no problem. Okay? I in a team, or the lack of it. Although there is no I in a team, but you have to remember that there is no team without individuals. So each individual adds to the team. And if these energies are not aligned, what happens is that people will feel burnout. Like we said before. People will feel like, you know what, I have done so much for too long and I didn't get any results. I'm out. Or complacency, where people feel like, okay, I did what I had to do, now everything has to go on cruise control. It doesn't happen that way. When you drive your car for a full year without changing oil, what will happen? It drives on cruise control, but what will happen?
Engine will seize.
Engine will burn, even it's a brand new car. Okay? Non-support, attitude of I give some of my time and that should be enough. It's not about that. Being a board member is a volunteer job that we all choose to do. So we either do it 100%, 110%, or if you can't take the heat, guess what? Get out of the kitchen. As easy as that. Because you make it more difficult for everybody else. And it's not fair. Communication. What do you think the barriers are in communication? And if you don't answer, I'm going to start calling on you.
What is the value of communication?
No, what are the barriers to communication?
Language.
Language?
If you think someone's made up their mind before you even speak,
Okay. Okay.
before you even get up to present, they've already decided.
Perceptual. Okay.
Yes.
Closed mind.
Closed mind.
The way you feel about the other person.
Emotional. Psychological.
Accepting of vision.
Psychological.
Misinformation.
Misinformation. And that could be perceptual too. Okay. The first one is physical. Like if I'm here and someone is...
I would say history too.
History.
History.
I
think that's
very
right.
good, yes. And someone is behind that wall. I might be talking like, well, you know what, Dr. Michael, and this, and I expect him to do this and that. Because there is a physical wall, they will not hear me. Or someone is in an office and the phones are ringing continuously. There is something bugging into my mind and I can't really concentrate what someone is telling me because I'm interrupted by the phone call, or someone has a loud radio going on. All these are physical barrier. Okay? Or, believe it or not, if the room is too hot or too cold. You know, if I'm too hot, I won't be able to think properly. If I'm too cold, I won't be able to think properly. So these are physical barriers. Perceptual, meaning like I had the perception or I was expecting something from you that you're not giving me, so I'm disconnected now. I don't want to hear. Psychological, emotional. Do you think if someone that you don't really care about that much talks to you, you're going to be really listening to what they're going to say? That's psychological. Language, like we said this morning, like the you bet, like throw me under the bus, like a bucket list, like, and there are even in Spanish, I mean, there are some words that people use like as a funny word, like cabron, for instance. In Mexico, it's a word that it's used a lot, but in certain countries, like I believe Colombia, is a very offending, insulting word. And they both speak Spanish. The United States and United Kingdom, they both speak English, but flat, for us, is flat. For the British people, it means a house or an apartment. A lift is an elevator. To table something, meaning to take it out. Though here means to put it on discussion later on. And we both speak English. In Arabic, you know, it's not, for instance, in Egypt, what we say, happy, the word we use for happy in Egypt, in Iraq, it means someone got beaten up. You know, a word in Tunisia and Algeria and North Africa that means someone is getting married, and I'm sorry for how I'm going to translate it. In Egypt, it means someone is pimping someone. So, and they all speak Arabic, they all speak English, they all speak Spanish. So we need to realize that even between the same language, different cultures can mean different things. Miscommunication. Gender. Do we communicate well with our children? Do we communicate well with our parents, with our grandparents, with our great-grandparents? There is always a barrier because every generation lived in a certain era. That like today when we were saying Mr. Rogers, you know, I had to ask who Mr. Rogers was because I didn't know. But for other people, oh yeah, you know, it didn't. You know, like we were watching. What is it called? It's the guy that does Matlock.
Andy
Griffith?
Griffith.
Andy Griffith. There was an old show that you used to play when he was like a sheriff or something.
The Andy Griffith Show.
Andy Griffith Show. You know, and you know, my husband kept telling me about it, and I'm like, Matlock? And he goes like, so you know what? I did not know. We were miscommunicating. I was talking about a show, and he was talking about a totally different show because you know what? He lived in an era here in the United States that I did not share. So I did not know what it is. So I did not understand his communication to me. You know, so we need to understand about that. Gender. Men are from Mars, women are
Venus.
Thank you. As women, we want to build relationships. We imply things. We're not direct. But men are very compartment-wise. This is work, this is my friends, this is home. How many times did you ask your husband to bring something home when they're coming back and they forgot? And it's not because they wanted to forget. It's because you called them about something to the house when they were at work. And their mind were at work. They have drawers. You know, a woman speaks 25,000 words a day, average. A man, 12,000.
How many for women?
25,000. I mean, 500 more or less, you know. So the men speak like half of it. And women always imply things. Like, for instance, I want to go to Jamaica, okay? But I don't want to tell my husband, let's go to Jamaica because I know his reaction is not going to be what I want it to be. So there is like a commercial on TV about a nice, oh, isn't that a great island? Imagine if we're there relaxed on the beaches, you know, we can go parasailing, we can do, and you go, That's his reaction, right? But I have something else in mind. Oh, look at the prices, they are so cheap, this is a steal. You know, again, you know, and I'm like, you know what? It's like we have so much vacation that we can use, and we need to relax. We have been so stressed. And he goes, can I watch my show now? You know, because he has no idea that this is what I want. Gender communication. Okay? Culture, race, and religion. The culture, the race, and religion has a lot to do with it. Like for instant communication, we talked about the number 4 in the Asian culture, why it's not liked, or why the white is not liked. We saw recently the Nazi swastika. You know, it means something for the Jewish population that reminds them of not very, for absolutely horrid times, okay, because of the Nazis. But believe it or not, it is a symbol of peace in some of the Eastern religions. I don't want to say Buddha because I'm not sure. It's someone that it's like on the head, and it's like a peace sign. The red symbol, it means Japan in World War II. You know, for instance, that's what it means. That's what it reacts to. We were just talking about color. Green. Green is Ireland, correct? Or environmentally safe. Number 4. Number 13. For some people, it's very lucky. For some people, it's not. Do we know why? In the Christian community or Christian religion, at the Last Supper, there were 13 people. That's why it's unlucky. But it's like in the Jewish community. Why? Because God has 13 attributes in the Talmud. That's why, in the book, that's why it's considered a lucky number. So we need to realize all that, what religion, culture, and everything has. Like, there are huge, whoever was in my cross-cultural thing that I did in St. Gabriel, I give so many examples of wrong cross-cultural, cross-religious examples that cost a lot of company a lot of money. And finally, the nonverbal communication. And I'm going to go through that very briefly. The nonverbal communication is what we don't speak or we don't write. Okay, it's our body language. Okay, like this. What does this mean?
Okay.
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 Words.
No,
It's 0 in Russia. It means money in Japan. And it's a big insult in Brazil. And it's a threatening sign in the Middle East. This sign, you're perfect. In Iran, it's very insulting. And the list goes on and on and on. There was a company in South Bell that had a big contract in Saudi Arabia for putting millions of dollars contract there. And they thought that, okay, we're going to make a commercial. And the commercial had an executive with his feet up on a table, relaxed. And this is the biggest no that you do in the Middle East. You never put the sole of your feet in front of someone else. I mean, we remember all the incident of the shoe with President Bush. This is the lowest of the low that you can do to a person. And guess what? They lost the contract. Nike had a shoe that had that fire on the back of the shoe. And the fire, if you actually read it in Arabic, it spells Allah. Allah means God for the Muslims. They had to pull 38,000 pairs of Nike from the Middle East because they didn't know the proper research for communication. Okay? So, solution for a better communication, like we said before, dialogue, suspend your judgment, listen, active listening, and discover things about yourself and about others. Discover what you are biased against. You know what, the other day I saw someone, I live in a very diverse community, and I saw a young kid driving a brand new Mercedes, and he went like, ee, you know, and big U-turn that he almost hit me, but he didn't care. And right away I said, freaking whatever. You know, and I'm like, and I stopped myself, and I'm like, I'm against that. But he did that, he pushed the button, an invisible button in me that made my own bias come out. So we need to watch for our own bias, no matter how open-minded we are. Okay. And I know I'm going a lot fast, but because we need to finish. The communication styles are divided into three ways. Positively, that has being assertive, honest, precise, confident, and actively listening. Neutral, being informed, detail-oriented, direct, outspoken, and quiet, or negative, passive, aggressive, blunt, and arrogant. No, these are extra, there are slices on them. This is an extra bonus.
Okay.
Leadership. Leadership, we all talked earlier about participative leadership, that we are all leaders. And we need to really follow what's called the GROW model in leadership. GROW model, G stands for goals, R, reality, O, options, and W is will or way of action. Meaning, like, the leaders have to set the goals, we're going to go through goal performance right now. They have to be realistic, they have to check options to do them, and if someone has the will to go through them. And that's the role of leaders. Infrastructure. Like we said before, some of you don't know the roles, and some of you would like to see more committees. Like, for instance, if there is clarity about the committees, there will be accountability. Each one, like a membership committee, a sponsorship committee, an event committee, treasurer, and each one of them would know what to do exactly and what is expected from them. Their accountability and result-oriented at the end, where if I'm a membership committee, I know that by the end of the year, I should bring in between 5 and 10 members, as an example. And if I don't do that, I did not deliver. At least everybody will know what to expect from them and from others. And I think this is something that we're going to discuss later on. Okay, and now, decision-making. Okay, decision-making, what does decision-making mean? I'm going to call on you.
To try to come up with a common goal.
Exactly. Have alternatives. Correct? And choose the best solution that you think can be. Okay. So on page 22, you have what is a problem is anytime a performance does not meet expectations, a project or a task or an obstacle to overcome. Creative problem solving, meaning that you are using your creativity in solving a problem that you're having. So you use actually your creativity, and there are barriers where you cannot problem solve. And these barriers are on your page 22. It's failure to recognize that there is a problem. People are in denial. No, we don't have a problem. And you hear it a lot. No, we are so polite to each other that we don't even tell each other anything. You know, all what we smile in each other's face, and that's all we do. And that's basically denying that there might be a communication problem. Conceiving the problem too narrowly, not knowing your part in a problem, not knowing how to solve it, not asking for help, and you are afraid to be judged based on your skills. So these can be barriers to problem solving. There are tools that can be used in solving. First one is simple, is restatement. Acknowledging that there is a problem and restate the problem. And if you miss a detail, someone else will remind you, maybe we should add this too. You know, maybe we have a problem of communication because we're not open with each other. Maybe because we don't trust each other yet. Maybe because we are too polite to each other and we don't want to hold each other accountable. So we build on each other restatement. SWOT analysis, we went through that already. Brainstorming, we are many people here, and we all have our own values and experiences that could be very valuable to the organization. So the more we brainstorm individually and as groups, there will be what? More solutions to consider. Pareto principle is the 20-80 principle. I mean, whoever does marketing knows that basically 80% of your results get from 20% of your efforts. You know, and this I'm going through very rapidly. They are in your book because so we don't really need to discuss them. Cause and effect porters. The one that we're going to really do in details is the 6 hats. This is a theory, and it's on your page 24. What 6 hats is an imaginary color hats. People usually, when they think about something, what happens usually? They argue. No, this is not right. This is what should be done. No, I think, and if you don't give them what they expect, like we said, they're going to put a barrier and they're going to stop thinking with you. Or they're going to find, because they don't like you, they're going to find everything that can go wrong with you or with your theory. Demonize you, you know, and they will not be able to actually think about it. And sometimes people get all swayed into one direction and they keep thinking about a problem in one single direction. This is a new theory called the 6 hats, and it was done by a scientist called Edward de Bono. And there is actually a book about that. I love this solution for problem solving because it gives you parallel constructive thinking. It's not one against one anymore. It's parallel. It's built on each other. And what it does, it uses different colors hat. The blue for process, white objective, yellow positive, green creative, red for feelings and negatives. What does that mean? It means instead of putting everything together, pros, oh, this is what's going to go, and you take it only in one direction, it makes you separate things. And we have an activity about that we're going to work together. And what it means, for instance, when you say there are 6 hats, white, red, black, yellow, green, and blue. To remember them, white, think about white papers. Facts, information, devoid of any feelings or emotion, just facts, details, and information. Red, what does red remind you of?
Angry.
Emotions, feelings. Remember fire, remember passion. So it will have everything to do with feelings, nothing with facts. You will discuss only the red hat, which is feelings. Yellow, what does it remind you of?
Caution.
The sun. The sun. Positive. Sun rays. I'm a sun person personally. If it's gloom, you know, for me, I get like, I don't want to leave the house. But for me, sun is positive, is optimistic, you know. And then we have the green. What does green remind you of? Money. Vegetation. Nature. So it's creativity. That's how you need to think about it. And then the black.
Bad.
The black robe of a judge. So laws, judgment, laws, you know, regulations, what can go wrong, how to be careful. And then we have the blue. Sky. The sky is the limit. So you bring together everything you discussed and put it in one blue. When you come to make a decision, first of all, you need to decide what you want to decide on. Okay? For instance, if you want to just kind of speculate on something, if it's going to work or not. You start with the blue hat. Okay? We're going to go through the exercise so we have hands-on with him. You start with the blue hat. And the blue hat is basically tells you what do you want to get out of this decision. Okay? And then you start with your yellow hat, the optimistic hat. Okay, this has values, it has benefits. Are the value and benefit worth or not? If they're not worth, that means the decision is bad, let it out. If you see that it has a lot of values, move to the next one. Get the black hat and think about what can go wrong. And balance them with the benefits and values. If they can go good, you know what, or they have some obstacles, it's fine, but the values are better, go to the white hat. Get the facts and information. Go to your red hat to know how it's going to make you feel. And then your green one, create the solutions and bring it back to the group. And how you do it is when you are in a group, for the sake of the exercise, we're going to divide ourselves into 6 groups. But when you are in a meeting and you want to do a decision, all of you wear the same color hat at the same time. So you will be parallel. So you start, okay, we want to increase membership. Okay, so you start with your white. What is white? Facts, information. Okay, the white hat. What are our information? What are our facts? Last year, how many members did we add? How did they come in? How did we bring them in? What helped bring them in? Did we do an early bird? Did we do, put all of you put the facts together. I mean, there will be people that were not here last year, so they will not know, so it's okay. At least they can. Then bring in, for instance, the red one. How is it going to make me feel to bring a new member? How is it going to feel to have more members in the chamber? How would it feel for the members to have more members? How would it feel to network properly? All of you, put your emotions there. All of you at the same time. Then you go to the black one. And the black one, what can get in our way? What are the blocks in our way? Is it we don't have enough experience? We don't have enough money? Is economy bad? Is the membership too high? Is the membership too low? Should we, you know, you put everything that can get in your way. And all of you wear the black hat. This is very important that all of you think in the same channel at the same time. So there will be not obstruction, but, you know, we can do this, someone else, but, and that's where it will stop. Okay. Then you bring in the yellow one. The positive thing, the optimistic thing. If we do this, it's going to increase our revenue as a chamber. It's going to increase our credibility. Our members are going to can create more revenues for themselves because of networking. I mean, you put all the positive stuff. Green, you start by saying, how can we do that? Let's get creative. Let's have a discount book, if you are a member from all the merchants in San Gabriel Valley. Let's have an early bird. Let's say if you pay 2 years of membership together, you get 25% discount. Let's say if you join from here till the end of the year, instead of paying the full membership, we're going to prorate it to this. If you refer another member, you get 25% discount of your membership. You know what I mean? It's all about creativity, about ideas, how to reach your decision. Then comes the blue one. The blue one is what brings everything together. Okay, we thought, okay, we can do this to bring this, and this is how it's going to feel, these are the facts, so this will be the decision taking. Is it closer? We're going to do the exercise right now. I want you to all think about one decision that you need to take. That we're going to work, all of us together on it right now. Mr. President?
About the chamber?
About the chamber.
Increase membership.
I just did that.
Well, that's fine.
We want to work on that? Okay. We have 6 colors, and we are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to divide you can mix and match, you don't have to go to the next one. We're going to have 6 groups, 5 will be 2 and 1 group will be 3. And then you choose which hat you want to have. So, divide yourself. For how long? Well, till you make a decision. You want to have a count? Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
1 through 6.
Yeah, 6.
No, but we have to count.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No. There are 6 groups.
Yeah.
Each one would be 2.
Right.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Those 2 are together. 2. Those 2 are
That's how we
together.
want to. It's fine
Yeah.
with me. It's fine with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Cheryl with Dr. Michael. You are with Albert.
No, I'm with Dr. Michael.
I'm 6. He's 1 again.
Okay.
2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5.
Okay.
I'm with Mary. I'm 6 and 6.
Let's decide how to do this.
I'm with Mary.
Who's 5?
Come on, Michael.
Okay.
3.
Diane.
Sandy.
Betty.
I don't know. I'm not a numbers person.
You have 4, right?
Okay, you agree?
Okay, so you
Oh,
You're 5. I know, you're 5.
Oh, we just have a color hat.
Right.
Yeah. Who wants to be white? You'll be white.
Okay.
Are we only two of us? Yeah.
Who wants to be red? Emotions.
We'll be ready.
We'll be ready.
You want a yellow? Okay.
You want to be positive today.
I wanted yellow. Too bad. I got the influence.
I have blue.
Yeah, let's do green.
White.
I think I might kind of...
White is it?
White.
Okay, we only have black one.
Black net.
Okay.
All right. Oops, I got it.
Okay, can we all agree that what we need to decide upon is increased membership?
Yes.
Okay? I want you to know that we're doing this just for the sake of time. But when you do a decision, you all have to wear the same hat at the same time. And go through the 6 of them one by one. And decide time, like, okay, we're going to take 10 minutes for white, 10, you know what I mean? So let's start the first one will be the white. Can you please read the white, what it is?
White hat is knowledge, remembering facts, information, data, and research. So we are the who, what, when, where. What do you know about? Question mark. What are the facts about? Question mark. What do you need or want to know? Question mark. Where might you find out about? Or where might you go to find out about? Question mark. So
Okay.
those are questions.
Hold on. Now we go to the yellow.
That's us.
Can you read it, please?
The analysis, analyzing, or I guess bloom, and then analyzing revised bloom, benefits, good, positives, value, and strengths.
And what are the benefits of, what is good about it, what is the positive outcome, and what's the value, how can this be made to work, and what did you like about the objective, I guess.
This is what they will work on. Now the opposite of the yellow is the black. So can the black read what they are?
Analysis, analyzing, caution, careful, danger, wisdom, risks, and weaknesses.
Okay.
And then, you want the other part?
What should you be cautious about? What are the consequences of? What words of wisdom might come from this, and what are the risks? This is the black what we work on. Okay, comes the red, the emotions. Can you please read it?
Evaluation, evaluating, feelings, hunches, emotions,
Intuition,
What
gut
are your-
feeling.
What are your feelings now? Did your feelings change and how? Which way did you like which way did you like best based on your feelings? What prejudices are present? What is your hunch about? What is your gut feeling about? What does your intuition tell you? Do we get to take these home with us? Do we get to back to chamber these cards? Well, you could make new ones, right?
I can send you a soft copy and you can have it.
Okay, please.
Sure. What about the green?
We are green. Synthesis, bloom, creating, revised bloom, creativity, imagination, new ideas, and possibilities.
And what if, can you create other ways to do this? How would you solve the problem? What new idea can you think of? What other possibilities are there? Express yourself through literature, poetry, drama, media, etc. Scamper, substitute, combine, adopt, modify, put to others' uses, eliminate, and reverse.
Awesome. Now we're left with the blue.
Can I ask what the bloom means?
Yeah, the blue is putting everything together.
Bloom.
Bloom, something coming to bloom, meaning coming to fruition.
Okay. The blue hat. Comprehension is bloom. Understanding is revised bloom. Application, applying is bloom. Metacognition. Process, ideas. Oh, big ideas, main ideas. Conclude, summarize, and list.
Okay,
Any
so
questions?
yes, please. The blue is basically tying all the hats together. or the action plan. Can you please, Mary, lead it?
Why, list, journal, tell how you got your answer, sequence the events, explain your thinking, summarize. What is your conclusion? What next? Action plan? What is the main idea? What are the big ideas? What was the problem? How was the problem solved? Look from another perspective. Look, think, as if you were in the sky.
Awesome. Okay. Right now we're going to start the exercise, so we need to start with what?
Wow.
The white.
Thank you.
Yeah, the objective.
What are your facts?
Yeah.
You want to have 5 minutes each to think about what you're going to do?
Because if we don't, doesn't one go with another?
You have to all their decision. But have some idea.
Who's the members? I think you need to think about why the membership is first, right?
So more of that happens so like events that benefit existing or member at this moment right now, more so than events right now, not that doesn't matter, right? It helps our members
And ways. Yeah, once we figure out why it's a decrease or we're at a standstill, then
can change the old people. You have a lot of things already done for years.
maybe definitely look at new options.
So we would recreate.
And we would get those new options from the group, from the ideas of the group.
And I also think that because let's say we don't limit the membership from any city, right? But I think as a Sunday we should serve the Sunday first. Right? So we give them more like a super membership or super membership to attract them. Like in the Catholic record, they always in classes. They always give the citizen, the residents, and give us cheaper price.
Okay. Incentive.
Especially right now
for San Gabriel business. That's a great idea.
And also, what I think is in San Gabriel, because almost a lot of Asian and most of the listeners is on Valley, and most of them are not English speaking. And I know that because they don't join member, because they said they don't really understand. So how we can solve that problem?
Maybe get more of our members that speak different languages
because
to.
I don't know. People they don't want to attend because they don't understand.
They don't. Yeah.